Hello, and welcome to 73 Words in the 732, short stories from the East Brunswick Public Library. I'm your host, Melissa Hosick. Since 2018, the library has been celebrating National Short Story Month with a short story competition. With inspiration from our area code 732, we challenged our community to write short stories with 73 words or less. This podcast showcases some of our authors from the grown-up category. Today we are joined by Joe Rutch from East Brunswick. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
When did you start writing?
Well, I guess like most people, you start writing in grammar school. You know, I had to write compositions and just went through high school, college, and I did write for my college newspaper a little bit. After I graduated, I would write, and I went on like week-long or 2-week-long bicycling trips, and I would write what I did to my family. Never really got much more serious than that, or did self-publish a children's book once called Grandpa on the Roller Coaster. And I also, one of the most interesting writing things I've done recently was my grandson had called us up for some advice. And I was all flustered because, you know, when someone throws a question at you, you never know what to say. And then that night I thought about it and wrote him a 3-page email with all my thoughts and advice. And to me, that was probably the most important bit of writing I've ever done.
Wow. What inspired you to write your 73 words in the 732 submission?
My wife looked at it and said, "You could do this." And, you know, I thought about it and it just came to me, a little story, you know, and as I love bike riding, you know, that's what I started with. And what did I do when I was bike riding? And that came to me.
Well, we'd love to hear you read it for us.
Well, my story is called Out for a Ride. And I'll try to make it as dramatic as possible, but 73 words, I don't know how much drama we can get. But here we go. It was a hot and steamy summer day, so I decided to ride my bike to the corner store for a bottle of soda. As I rode past the woods, I looked down by the creek and saw 3 little baby bunnies staring at the polluted water they could not drink from. I turned around and went home for a glass of cold water. There was enough plastic pollution on the earth.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Do you share any more writings, and if so, where can people find them?
Well, as I previously had mentioned, I did write a children's book. It says it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It actually is. Now that I think about it, it is in the Bound Monroe Library, their school, because I worked as the librarian there. Helped as a librarian, not worked. I did an afternoon of volunteering when one of my grandsons went there. And I read the story at the school, and they kept a copy for the library. So it is at the Bound Monroe School Library.
Again, we appreciate your time, Joe.
All right, thank you. Have a good time. Everyone be safe, stay well out there.
Thank you for joining us today on 73 Words in the 732. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Check out our back catalog anywhere you listen to podcasts and subscribe to be notified of our future episodes.